Welcome back. I took a moment to find my phone. Oh dear, we were doing bro impressions in the break, and I think DC's now gone to fetch. Yep, there we go.
Yes, perfect.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you say something? All I could hear was the sound of me loading these guns.
I like to get some improv in between my reps.
Oh, this is.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This isn't for squad, sir. Sorry.
Oh my God! Welcome to the gun show.
My fans over there.
So.
Oh my God.
So color in advance.
Color in advance.
No one but us understands why I even did that.
Yeah, it was great. But everyone in chat is just being like, "Yes, DC's arms."
Yes.
Yeah, they're not questioning it.
Yeah. Yeah. Do we have someone who would like to do some storytelling and someone who would like to do some active and interrogative listening?
I'm willing to volunteer to do the story if nobody else wants to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can I listen intently?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. So DC, whenever you just want to hear more color on something, it helps if you specify what it is. Especially because it's chat and there's a delay. So, you'd say, ooh, color on the sword or something. And then when you feel like you've just got enough details on that, you can say, okay, advance. And yeah. And then normally when I run it, because I'll have like a bunch of different people telling the stories at the same time, I'll just call time, even if it's okay if you haven't reached like the narrative end of your story. So maybe we'll just go until there's kind of a good beat in the story and we'll call it.
Okay.
After a minute or so. Cool.
Excuse me. All right, do I just go?
Yeah, so Aaron, whenever you're ready, you can just start narrating, and yeah, we're excited to hear it.
All right. So I'm gonna tell you the story of how I got this scar on my shoulder. It's a whole thing. So about 6 or 7 years ago, I was working on this kind of beat up Russian shipping, like cargo ship. And we came in the dock somewhere. I think
color on that cargo ship. That sounds
okay.
Yeah.
To say it was beat to hell was a bit of an understatement. Like, it was 5 different colors of rust. You couldn't see any of the original paint except for like the letters that were flaking off. I didn't know Russian, so I don't know if that was how the word was supposed to look. And in order to get around all of the like the inspections they do, the guy just put portholes over like the actual holes in the side of the ship and just put like weird storage tanks that he welded to it. So they'd fill up with water, and sometimes the ship's sideways and sometimes you lose some cargo. But I mean, the important thing is, as long as you get there with most of it,
Okay, advance.
Okay. So we pull into dock. I think it was, somewhere near like Oregon or something. They all kind of blend together after a while. But the night before we get off, we sit down and we decide we're just gonna have a little friendly wager, play some poker, and I get up a couple hands, and then he decides we're gonna let's maybe do this for money. And
okay, color on what this person looks like.
Okay. He's taller than seems possible for a normal human being. Weird and kind of like bulbous in weird places and lanky. Like, he almost looks like he has arthritis in a bunch of his joints. Like his elbows are big and doing a thing. And he's got a beard that only grows like 3/4 of the way on his face. And he's got this giant scar that he says he got from a bear. And nobody thinks to question him about it.
Okay, advance.
Okay. So
good.
So we're gambling, and he gave me some of this special vodka that he keeps for special occasions. Needless to say, about an hour later, I don't have any of my clothes on anymore, and I'm down about $10,000. So, we get to dock the next day, and I'm like, I gotta make some money, or else this dude might kill me. I don't know. It's his boat, and I'm pretty sure this thing has seen some bodies. That's all I'm saying. There's a lot of empty cargo, and there's some of them that makes weird noises. So maybe, I don't know, it's a thing. So I decide to do what anybody who has no money does. And I go find the seediest bar in town. So I head, God, the one that was under the overpass was like too nice. So I went to the one that was kind of just outside of some guy's shed in his backyard. Shed wasn't great. The bouncer was just some guy sitting on a riding mower. And I walked up and he said, "I know y'all good for it," and then he just let me in. It was great. It was fine.
Okay, color on what this place looks like interior.
Yes.
All right, so it's picture a shed like the size of like a studio apartment living room, maybe. It's a Frankenstein of like 5 or 6 different sheds that have just been like screwed or welded or just kind of squished together. There is a jukebox-ish. So it's a guy. It's a boombox with like a 5 CD changer, and all he has is like different Garth Brooks CDs. So that's all you're getting.
Okay, that's.
So I asked him, what's the cheapest thing I can get, and I'm pretty sure he poured something out of it looked like a shoe. He was real quick the way he poured it, but it tasted awful and it made me feel bad. So it must have been alcohol. So I did what any self-respecting RPG character does: is I ask the bartender if he knows of any jobs in the area, and he says there's a fight club, and you can make 20 grand a night if you win. So I was like, obviously, yes. So I said, let's do the thing. And then he said, okay, cool. Go talk to those guys outside. And they were standing, trying to look real tough right next to the riding lawnmower guy. Mm-hmm. So I go out there and I talk to him. And then I'm like, hey, I need the money. Let's do this fight club thing. And there's a tall guy. There's a guy who's not fat. And there's a guy who's not thin. And there's both of them. And the one who's not fat was like, yes, you have to fight one of us. And I was like, obviously, I'm going to pick the short, skinny guy. And he's like, good, punch me. And I punched him in the face, and he smiled, which is one of those things, like, when it happens in an anime, it's bad. And so he says, okay, before I beat the shit out of you, they call me Speed Bag because the harder you hit me, the quicker I come back at you. And he just kind of beat the shit out of me. But he says he's
color on you getting the shit beat out of you.
All right.
Oh
no. That dude in grade school who was he was just like he was a late bloomer when it came to like growth spurts. So this guy was short, and it seemed like he had something to prove because after I punched him in the face, he just shirt off, and he was ripped enough for like 4 dudes, and then he kicked my ass real hard. I think at some point he had me kick myself in the face, and I don't even know how that happens. And it wasn't even the front of my foot; it was the back of my foot. Figure that out.
Okay.
Oh my god!
It's the greatest story I've ever heard.
It's really warm in here. Hold on a second. So he says, you're an idiot, but I could tell you want money, so let's do this. So then, I signed up to be in a fight club. And we went to the person's backyard where they got what looked like a big dog run, the chain link fence and it was that, except there was people in it just beating the hell out of each other. So I showed up, and the guy said, you have to fight on your first night. So I go in there, and they put me up against like an average looking dude. Got kind of a dad bod going on. Figured I could take him. And I don't know if I was drunk or what happened. I hit him once, and he's out. And I was like, hey, yes, this is good. And then they're like, cool, send in this, this guy knows what the hell he's doing. Send in the Crushinator. And they have this dude who's like 8 feet tall. and he looks like he beats up professional wrestlers for fun.
Color on what the Crushinator looks like.
All right. All of his hair is between his neck and his stomach. He has a pair of overalls that is just only one of the straps is buttoned.
Of course.
And he's just real happy about that nerp that's hanging out. I mean, like, it's a whole thing. I don't know. Like, whenever he did his entrance move, he just slapped it a few times. I figured that was his thing. He had Crocs and socks on. And that's how you know he meant business, because anybody who does that isn't afraid of anybody.
Okay.
Or their judgment.
And I know everything I need to know about this.
Okay, I think I need to call it, because I could literally listen to this for an hour.
Okay,
or
so
like
I
3 hours.
I was
Like,
genuinely
it's so
wondering
good.
if Aaron was telling us a Shaggy Dog story. I was like,
Yeah.
is that what's happening?
So
Yeah.
was that true? Like, I don't mind if it wasn't. If you improvise that, or you've like that's a story that you've told a million times, that's fine. I don't mind if it's not true. I just need to know if it is true or not.
Yes.
It's not. Thank.
Zero parts of it are true.
Oh my god.
That was so compelling.
I did
That
drink
was
in a
so
shed
good.
once with somebody who was on a riding lawnmower, but he was more like lookout than he was like bouncer.
Okay,
Mhm.
color on the look. No, sorry.
You are an amazing storyteller, because that was so compelling. I had bought into that 100%. I was like, holy shit, Aaron's seen some
I think
shit.
she
Like,
did that. Yeah. That was amazing. First of all, that was such an amazing story. And DP, I love the times that you cut in, because when you asked for color, there were things that I was like, yes, I'm craving to hear. I'm craving to like zoom in and see what this person looks like, and visualize them before zooming back out to the plot. So that was it was perfect. So I hope that it's such a great, narrative exercise. One, because it gets to, for the person telling the story, stretches their muscles in different ways. And two, is the listener. I think everybody has a personal preference on which one they want to hear more of in a game. And so it's fun, like I said, to practice that with different people and kind of get a different feel for it. That was amazing.
Yeah, it was. I would not have been surprised if Aaron took us for an entire hour of just a gambling story. I got in trouble. I very nearly lost some friends at some point. At one point, for telling an hour and 20 minutes of Shaggy Dog story. And then like at some point, someone just like cut me off and was like, "No, we're not doing this anymore." Like,
oh.
Yeah. So there is like a sub goal thing, I reckon, for like once I hit a certain number of subs on the channel, I'll just do a 4-hour Shaggy Dog story on stream.
Yes.
Go.
Amazing.
I will be there the whole way.
Yeah. There are two jokes that I'm aware of that involve making animal noises for as long as you can keep people's attention for the joke, is if you can stretch it to like a couple minutes, and one of them is making dolphin sounds and the other one is whale sounds.
Oh god.
And both the jokes are both horrible, but it's like if you can like keep someone like with you as you just keep going.
Yeah.
So good.
Mikey's on it. Mikey knows the whale joke.
Mm-hmm. Moving on from that, there's one that I would really love to share with y'all, which is one of my favorites. It's called Animal Secrets, and it's a really silly game. And it was so a lot of these games, some of them come from the great improvisers, and I've retranslated them a little bit for what worked in my workshops. Mm-hmm. And some of them have come from things that just got kind of passed around from improv troupe to improv troupe, and then Animal Secrets is one that a friend of mine made up, as far as I know, and it's amazing. And it's so perfect because it plays a lot into status, which is another thing in the book that I devote like a whole chapter to, is like that play to lose mindset, but like also it's great to have a character that can move from high status to low status and back again. And I think that that's something that people struggle with a lot in any type of game, is having the character who is, you know, who is Batman, and they can't be hurt. They, you know, nothing that you throw at them, you know, it all bounces right off. And so Animal Secrets is a game about being vulnerable and telling secrets and having fun with it. And it's that idea of like player knowledge versus character knowledge, and that there's, I mean, people have different opinions on that, and I mean, I'd love to hear from you guys, like your experiences with player knowledge versus character knowledge. How do you like to deal with that when a character has a secret?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I definitely, when I run games, I definitely talk about the thing of everyone being in on the same story, and like knowing all the same things, because it gives them power to then play with that. Like my character doesn't know a thing that I as a player know, which means that I can then use set up a certain amount of dramatic irony that I couldn't otherwise. Where I'm like, I'm gonna go home, and like my character doesn't know that, you know, my spouse is sleeping with the mailman, but like I'm going to go home because I'm feeling unwell, and set that up without needing to have that be character knowledge.
Yeah,
I'm a huge fan. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, I just have with player secrets and character secrets, I have 2 rules at the table, and at the beginning of the campaign, we agree on which mix of the 2 we're going to use, and the first one is that there are no player secrets. Everything is out in the open, and the secrets are only between characters, which is great because it lets you have dramatic irony when, as Ash is saying, like you're playing off, everyone knows that that you're about to bumble into a secret kind of thing. And the other one is that player secrets are fine, but secrets can only exist to be exposed at the table. So if we know that, you know, like DC's character is secretly, you know, in league with the king, then that only exists so that at some point in time, everyone finds out about that. And it's, you're not allowed to have a secret that isn't going to come out, and we will like keep poking it. Generally, I find most games have a mix of both, and often most secrets have a mix of both. So like everyone at the table knows, oh, DC has a hidden allegiance. We just don't know who it's to.
I've always suspected DC.
Secrets are their most powerful when they're exposed. That's a huge turning point in the relationship between those characters, in the character and their understanding of the world. It's like a huge dramatic moment. So secrets absolutely need to come out, and either the players know it and drive towards it, or maybe it's a surprise. I was in a LARP at Big Bad Con where you know, you have the character sheet, and it often tells you how you feel about the other characters, and I like to go and check in with those players and say, okay, my sheet says that I know this about you, and also like in this case, it was like, well, my sheet says that I don't like your character and that I talk down to you. Is that okay to do in game? Because I don't have to do that. And like I wanted to check in for like playtime. Like I didn't know that player as much, and I was like, I just want to make sure that if I do that, if I am condescending to you in game, or would you be comfortable with that or not? And so that was really helpful. But also I was going to another player, and I kind of said, well, here's what my character knows about you. And I could tell he kind of had his sheet up here. And I was like, ooh, you have a secret. And he clearly didn't want to tell me. And I was like, okay, I'll wait, but it better come out. And it did. And it was so dramatic and like earth shattering for me to find out that secret that his character had been keeping. So there's that difference of like putting stuff out on the table so that you can play towards it, or knowing that something's there and it's like someone has a surprise for you that they're gonna deliver on.
I've had a few instances where we've had a person who's playing with us and they just had it in their head where they had to have the secret that nobody else in the group knew and that the players didn't know either. So they're spending like 3/4 of their session trying to steer things towards the stuff that nobody else knows to work on.
Yeah.
And I feel like if they were like, okay, well, I have a secret agenda where I need to get these jewels before they get delivered to here, then like people are more willing to go along with you rather than if you're just trying to like hijack an entire session or game, just for you.
Yeah.
Because then they get to share play, right? They get to share knowing that they're playing towards something instead of just watching a single player game that they're not allowed to engage with.
Definitely.
I've had a lot of experience in the last D&D game that I played where 2 or 3 characters had a bunch of secrets that the players and the characters didn't know. One was with like a backstory, and the other one was with like a bunch of actions, and it would just slow things down tremendously.
Yeah.
And everyone would be like, "Why are you doing this particular thing?" And they're like, "Oh, well, it's like something about my character that I can't talk about. I don't know if it'll ever."
I think there's a thing there that is really interesting in that, in roleplay, secrets are a form of power or a form of like additional agency that you can hold. And so when it hits the table and becomes revealed, that's the point at which that agency differential is leveled, and everyone now gets to act based on on that additional knowledge.
There's a tool that's sometimes useful in improv, when you're on the stage in a scene, which is if you realize like you don't know what to say, and you're at a blank, is just to say, there's something I have to tell you, and then just kind of 3 things style, like admit a secret, just whatever it is. You've set it up as this is an important thing to me, and your scene partner knows, oh, I have to respond to this in a way that is important. It's going to change our relationship. It's going to I'm going to justify why this means something. And like the secret itself doesn't matter that much. It's like the relationship that's more important. And so I love that is like a trick that improvisers use sometimes. Like, don't know what to say? Share a secret.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I like that.
Because it immediately introduces momentum into the power dynamic.
Yeah, and it's super exciting because there's so much to unpack where it's like, well, why was that? Why did you need to keep that a secret? Why was it important that you hide that from me? Like, why do you feel bad about that? How do I, as the recipient, having heard that, feel about that? How does that change our relationship? Because that's where all of the juiciness comes from, is like how people feel about each other. So animal secrets is, I recommend anybody play this game who wants to kind of get in that mindset of it's fun and okay to be vulnerable. So what you would do is when I play this in person, I like to have everybody kind of huddle up shoulder to shoulder, and we can't really like lean into our microphones because I'll mess up our levels. But you can imagine having a more intimate space, and
we can do an ASMR stream.
Oh God, get so many subs. So we would pick an animal. And I'll just use the example that I use in the book, which is a zebra. And then imagine that maybe there's a bunch of like smash cuts of like zebras in confessionals, or we're all going to be zebras in some type of zebra group secret telling campfire. We're all going to tell secrets as if we were that type of animal. We're not like a single character. We're not like all voices in one zebra's head. There's no narrative or story or character to be built. We're just kind of telling punny secrets. So secrets that a zebra might tell, you could tell something that's really silly and zebra related, like, I don't actually like stripes. You could do something that would be funny for like an anthropomorphic zebra to have a secret for, of like, I've been having an affair with a horse, or I've been embezzling from my company for 15 years. Like, whatever type of secret is fun for you, and whatever level of reality is fun for you. And so one by one, people kind of lean in and they whisper their secret, and it has to be something that feels like it's important, again, because the secret has to mean something. So you have to kind of feel that as you're telling it, you're divulging this horrible secret that you've been keeping, and you just really want to get it off your chest. And everybody else, again, this is a game that I love because we all say something at the same time and make a hand gesture. We all say secrets, and we do this with our hands. We do kind of high up for chat, but like in person it might be lower down, like it's over like a cauldron or something, or like jazz hands. You're like secrets.
Excellent. I'm on board.
Yeah.
This is how people cast spells, isn't it?
Yes, this is how people cast spells. No. So that's the game, and then you normally just like, you go on a run of a bunch of animal jokes, and then you run out of ideas on that, and so you name a new animal and you keep going, and you play it through a couple of animals. For me, I think the fun part is one, hearing people, really emote that this is a shameful secret, and then everyone saying secrets. It's just really fun. So what type of animal should we tell secrets for?
Shark.
Okay, cool. Shark secrets.
Shark secrets.
Ooh, I'm actually a dolphin. I just added fake teeth. Secrets.
I'm actually a vegetarian.
Secrets.
I actually don't know how to swim. I've put a motor on the back.
I'm as Nosmic. I can't smell blood in the water. I just follow the other sharks.
One time I tried to adopt a baby otter as a pet, but then in the middle of the night I ate it.
People actually never jumped over me before.
I watched Finding Nemo 11 times, and I think we might be the bad guys.
I actually really want to move to SeaWorld.
No!
Secrets. It sounds nice.
Do you want to pick another animal? We'll do another animal for a run.
Yeah.
Flamingos.
Yes,
wow.
flamingo secrets.
These are actually my arms.
I'm not actually pink. This is spray on.
Secrets.
I'm actually attracted to the lawn ornaments.
Once I tried to eat some krill from the ground, but actually it was just mud, and then I threw up.
One time I jumped over the barricade at the zoo and I ate a burger right out of a child's hands, and I'm not sorry, but I did make the child cry, and I am sorry for that.
My name is Floyd.
I can't tell the difference between any of the other flamingos. I think my wife. I think that one's my wife.
I can't actually stand on one leg. This is a little bench thing I had rigged up.
Oh my god, this is the most giggly of animal secrets I've ever gotten, which is amazing. But you can see how much fun it is
It's
to
so
just
good. Are you okay?
tell
Ben?
secrets.
No.
One more animal. I feel a hearty need to do one more animal.
One more?
Yeah,
Mhm.
let's do one more. Who's feeling it?
How about a turtle?
Yes, let's do a turtle. Turtle secrets. Let's see.
I'm scared of the monsters that hide inside my shell. I try not to go to sleep.
I wish I was a tortoise. Having feet seems really, really convenient.
Secrets.
Is that the difference?
When my 100 siblings and I all came out of our eggs on the beach, I just hid and let the seagulls eat the rest of them.
I'm actually a frog. This is just a weird rock with holes I found a long time ago, and I just never said anything.
Oh, bless.
The plastic bags are just for fashion.
Oh,
All the money in Ocean's 11 is in my shell right now.
Secrets. That's why they call it oceans.
God damn it. I didn't know the difference between us and tortoises until 3 minutes ago. Secrets.
All right, I gotta call it. I
Okay,
can't. I'm going
okay.
too
Oh,
hard.
wow.
Oh my god, I love that game. So that is, I think, if nothing else, if I can get the whole world to play Animal Secrets, I will be very excited.
It's a good game.
I'm tempted to try to get people to play this in line at like PAX or something in January.
Oh, hell yes. That would be so good.
Like, actually, all of these. I'm going to have to get the book and bring it with me.
Please do. You can buy the book at evilhat.com.
What?
What?
If only a link would magically appear in the chat.
It did sometime earlier. I'm not logged into chat, so I can't put it in.
It's evilhat.com/home/improv-4-gamers.
Yes. But you can also, improvforgamers.com has a lovely link with a picture of a book that says, buy the book!
Oh, good.
So-
Excellent. There is an improv4gamers.com. Great.
Buy my book.
Exactly. Deep cut to the critic.
Yeah, wow. Surprised we got that one.
So a lot of the exercises are like this. They're just group exercises that are isolating like a particular skill that can then be carried over, into whatever type of gaming that you do. There are definitely more that are more improvisy on the stage a bit, especially for the ones that are trying to practice like the editing scenes, because you need people to be up there doing a scene so that you can practice editing it and like finding out when that scene should end. And so the ones about timing, there's a little bit more, and some of the group scenes. But a lot of it is, I feel, really, really fun and easy, I hope. And the book is designed for people to just kind of open it up and pick whatever they want to play. You don't have to do it in any particular order. So.
I definitely feel like it's been really easy for us to just pick it up and start doing some
Oh, yeah.
activities. Do we want to do one more, or do we want to wrap it up?
I can do one more. Do you want to do one that's not in the book?
Okay.
My God. You've gone rogue.
Well,
She's improvising quickly.
Oh no, script.
This is the problem with writing a book is then you learn new games and you're like, I could have put that in there.
That sounds like a great idea.
Because I'm always, I still take classes all the time, and I'm in different troops and I try to perform with different people, and there's so much improv out there, and it didn't all make it in the book. I don't know, website expansion, PDFs maybe, we'll think. So this is, I learned this as it was being called Crisis. And you play this in pairs. You might do like 2 lines of people, and then you have the 2 people at the front of the line have this little exchange. And so it starts with one person says, I have this problem, but all I have is this totally random object. and the other person says the same thing. Well, I have this problem, and the only thing I have is this completely unrelated object. And then you tell the other people how your object will fix their problem. So it's this great power of what I say will work because I said it will. I'm establishing a truth in the fiction that this will work, and justifying why it will work. And so it's just a really fun way to feel very empowered. And I think I definitely get bogged down sometimes with, like, in games, trying to find the thing that makes the most sense according to actual laws of physics. And you're like, no, actually, I want this to work because I said it'll work. And, like, maybe, I'm playing this heist game, but I'm not actually, like, a mastermind. I'm not actually a great face. I want to be able to say something convincing, but I don't have those words right now. I'd like to say the thing that works, please.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna role play something that maybe is rather. I was in a Pathfinder campaign, and we had a lot of diplomacy rolls, like a lot. And I don't play terribly diplomatic people, but I rolled really well. So it was kind of like, well, I don't know how she did it, but she convinced them with those honest, uncouth words. She really got through to them, and it worked because I said it did. Because we established that was the thing that was going to work.
Mm-hmm.
So the fun part about this is that you can totally pre-script. You can break that gamer rule a little bit and come up with your problem and your object totally in advance, which is just a fun little thing to do that we normally try not to do. And then you just justify why your object will fix the other person's problem. So like, Ben, if you and I were going to play, I'll say something like, oh, there's a hole in my boat, and all I have is a single pineapple.
Okay. Well, interestingly enough, my problem is that whilst flying over Central America, I dropped my lucky penny, and all I have is a 4-month-old avocado.
Oh, okay. So what you don't know about pennies and pineapples is that they're actually magnetic. So if you fly back over where you were and you drop this pineapple, if you put like a GPS on it and you pick back up in the ocean, the penny will have floated back up and attached.
Oh, excellent.
So you'll find the penny.
Okay. Well, similarly, like, just luck would have it. With an old avocado, what you can do is you can hollow it out, right? You take out the little pip. Okay, then you just throw the pip away. The pip's unimportant.
It's useless.
With the hollowed out avocado, if you just blow into it, it becomes a flotation device, right? So
perfect.
Who cares about the boat? Just jump out, get it out, flotation device, keep blowing into it, you're fine.
Fantastic. And I have a healthy snack. Thank you so much.
Snack. Yeah, because then you've got all of the 4-month-old avocado flesh.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Great. And that's the game. And then, so if you're doing limes, then those people would go to the back of the other end of the line. And that's it. It's being silly, but it's justifying things and being very confident that your plan is going to work because you said it well.
I demand to see DC and Aaron play now.
Yeah.
Oh my.
So if you want to take a second to come up with your problem and your object beforehand.
Hey, DC. So I was a bad citizen and didn't set my clock back an hour for daylight savings time, and now the sun is slowly running out of daylight because I forgot to save some, and I think we're going to have the inevitable heat death of the world. And I have this 300 count box of freezer pops.
Nice. That's great.
That sucks. Personally, my problem is that I was running a marathon and we didn't have any water for which to slide on to make it to the end, so I actually had to physically run, which is a problem for me. And with all I have left here is this box full of old shoes, but they're only left shoes.
Well, look, you are so in luck, because I mean, I know that a lot of that marathon is downhill. So what you do is, these aren't like torn, they're not perforated yet, they're just the big tubes of liquid. So not only can you drink them for an energy boost, they will kickstart your body's regenerative abilities in case you this next part of the plan goes badly. But you basically just wrap yourself up like bubble wrap and you just roll downhill. It's perfect.
Perfect. Thank you. That's fantastic. Actually, what's really great about the sun running out of daylight because you didn't save any is that inside of each one of these shoes, they were actually used as daylight saving shoes, where they would catch some in the air.
Yeah,
and you
DSSs.
Shoe. Yeah, and you store it in a shoe, and then you just tie that right up, right? You just tie it down. So each one of these shoes has probably the exact amount of daylight that you need.
God, so good. It's full of hope, like a 4-month avocado.
Shine one off of the other, and then boom, you're good. It's like an Egyptian temple up in here.
Future generations, thank you.
So good. Aaron, I love when you're like, oh yeah, DSSs. Like that is yes and. Like, yeah, I've heard of that. Absolutely. I agree.
Everybody knows what DSS means.
That is a thing that exists in the world because you said it did.
So good. I love it.
Ash, you should get in on this.
All right, sure. Well, Karen, I have this problem where I tried to make a time machine, but accidentally I just made an evil clone of myself. And the only thing I have is a lost and confused senior citizen.
Oh no. I missed the bus, and the only thing that I have is this box, just an empty box.
Yeah. I think actually this might be helpful though, because like my friend here, the lost and confused senior citizen, doesn't know where she was going. So if you just jumped on her back and told her she was going to wherever you were going to go to.
Oh, she'd give me a ride.
She'd give you a ride. It would be cheaper than the bus.
Oh, wonderful. Oh no, what were the details of your problem again?
Oh, I accidentally created an evil clone of myself.
Just put the box on top of your clone's head. It'll get lost and confused and disoriented and like lose all sense of balance. Because clones have like really bad inner ears, so that'll just incapacitate them.
Ah, that makes sense. This is like that thing where you steal from people in Skyrim by putting a bowl on their head.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes, I love Crisis.
Awesome. Cool.
That's a good game.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I mean that's all the things we wanted to hit for the day.
Yeah. So improv is fun.
It's real good.
It's silly and fun, and just practices a lot of different skills. And the more you do it, the more you learn, and the more comfortable you get with it. Like I said, they're very widely applicable skills, right? They're applicable to role-playing games, but they're also applicable to life. Yeah. Oh, I'm super excited. I'm going to start teaching an improv for real life class next year.
That's super cool.
Applied improvisation is my jam. I love it. And that's kind of what this is, applying all of those, there's some things that are like more useful for the stage. I don't bring those into my workshop because I want this to be like just the things that are useful for gamers and just apply those.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. So so this came out, 2 days ago?
Yeah.
So
came out on election day.
That's a real good day. Like no other major news items.
No.
I'm just saying, if it came out on election day, maybe Crisis should have been in the book.
Maybe. Yeah, I should have put it in there. I'll put it up on the website. I'll see.
Yeah. No, it's super cool.
Happen.
And people can check it out if they want to. It's really cool to have been able to have this very early hey, check out this cool thing on the channel. So let's do some shout outs and wrap it up. We'll go back through the same order from before, so hopefully Aaron will be ready this time.
I know my secret. I'm never secret. Hi, I'm Aaron. You probably know that by now. if you ever want to check out the things that I do, I'm on That D&D Podcasts. You can go to thatdndpodcast.com, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Patreon, Facebook, Google Plus, if that still exists when you're listening to this. And if you want to check out any of my things, if you want to look at food or me flirting with people, you can do that on Twitter at @theroadvirus_. You can watch my streams where I cook things or play video games or flirt with people at twitch.tv/theroadvirus, and there's underscores between the words. And at some point, I'm actually going to sit down and finish working on these projects I'm working on, and then maybe I'll have a thing to say about that. And in that case, watch Twitter.
Awesome.
Are we doing
Ben,
non-capitalist shoutouts?
if you want to do a non-capitalist shout out, do one.
I'm gonna do it again. Dark shower. If you're ever having a bad day, turn the lights off. Turn the shower on, like real hot. If you have a cool shower like mine that has an LED in the little faucety part, it changes color with the temperature of the water. So I turn it to really hot and it turns red and it starts blinking. So I get in there with like a beer and I lean up against the wall and I feel like some sort of washed up like spaceship pilot. I swear to God, this is my...
Aaron, you're blowing my mind right now.
This is how I deal with stress is I have a dark shower and a shower beer with my blinking spaceship light and do it. It'll fix your shit.
Sounds
Nice.
amazing.
Do you play like some Portishead or something while you're doing it?
You know, just it really depends on the mood. I do have a nice Spotify playlist of like cool, weird, kind of trippy ambient music. It's good. It's really
Cool.
Love it.
Nice.
Ben, shout outs.
Yeah, so my name is Ben Sherry. I am a Maltese Australian game designer. I'm currently working for Cubicle 7 Entertainment, who publish Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th Edition, which is the thing that I'm currently writing, and Doctor Who and a bunch of other cool stuff. But in my own time, when I have it, I am publishing my own games and running my own games online. There's a lot of links, and I'm not going to bother to say them all because I can't remember most of them. But they are all pinned as my pinned message or my pinned tweet on my Twitter. You can see my Twitter below, and so follow that if you want to see what I'm doing. And non-capitalist shout out. I'm gonna just shout out to some of my probably my favorite thing to bake, and that's called pastini. It's a Maltese via Tunisia little like cookie. It's like this big. They're made from almond flour and whipped eggs, and they take like half an hour to make. And I suck at baking, but I make them really well. They're the easiest thing in the world to make. I will post a recipe. I will tweet a recipe out right after this because I really encourage everyone to have pastini. They are gluten-free as well. So if that is a concern for you, go for it. Yeah, that's me.
Cool. And DC.
Hello, I am DC. This is my hat. You can find me on Twitter at Dungeon Commander. No E in Commander down there. You can find me on Twitch at the same. I'm currently working on Mutants in the Night, a Blades in the Dark hack about taking on marginalized identities, having the pressure of the world on you and figuring out how to deal with that, not only through your own special, unique contributions to the world, but focusing on community and what you can do for the people around you. My non-capitalist shout out, I'm gonna slide into here. Candles. One, candles are amazing. Second one, flirt with people. It's very good for you.
Yep. Quality.
Consensually. Ask first.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you light a candle while you're doing it, it just kind of levels up both things. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. You can
Convergence.
Yep. And then Karen. Thanks for being here.
I'm Karen 12s. Thank you so much. This has been so much fun. My pronouns are she, her. I'm K12s on Twitter. I do editing for a fair amount of games. I work a lot with Evil Hat and Bully Pulpit. I'm not sure what I'm working on right now that I can talk about. Oh, For the Queen, Alex Roberts. For the
so
Queen.
good.
So good. I'm
good.
so excited that
It's-
I'm part of that project.
Games that are
that's
so
a
good
ton
they
of
make me
fun.
angry.
Yeah, I know, right? It's so fucking good. And Improv for Gamers, the book, is coming out, and that's very exciting. And I'm still teaching a lot of improv workshops, and those are great too. I think non-capitalist shout out. I have to give a person shout out because I'm seeing Ken here in the chat, and Ken has been like such an amazing supporter of my workshops and the book and everything, and he always retweets and shows up to things and is super enthusiastic. And I like just met the guy this year and like, where did you come from? And you're my biggest fan, and that's very exciting. And I really appreciate that.
People like that are good.
So I have a friend shout out to Ken and his support. Like, thanks so much. That makes me feel great.
That's so good. I love it.
Yeah.
So you can grab Improv for Gamers from the Evil Hat website, or you can go to improvforgamers.com, or you can get it from hopefully your friendly local game store.
Yes.
I have been Ash. I've been Yuji, your host here today, and this is my channel. And you can hit the follow button if you want to see more role-playing game content, and also like procedural generation video games, proctoring stuff, games that tell stories to you. And then you can also follow me on Twitter and Patreon and all those sorts of things at ACGIK. Thank you all so much for joining me. This has been an absolute blast. What a great time. And a lovely like divergence from our like slight divergence from our usual antics. It was really nice, refreshing thing to do. So thank you all for joining us. Thank you everyone in chat. And we will see you later. Bye bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.